Welcome to the Qualitalks Podcast, a show about pharma and GMP. The pharmaceutical industry is a fascinating and complex field, and it takes countless people to bring a product to the market. In this podcast, we bring you some of the industry's brightest minds who will share their wisdom with you. And now, please welcome your host, Jan Kugel.
Welcome to the Qualitalks podcast, where we dive deep into the world of pharmaceuticals. I'm Jan Kugel, your host, and in today's episode, we're excited to have Elizabeth Hickman, the Chief Business Officer at AustinPx, joining us. With over a decade of experience in the biotech and pharmaceutical sectors, Elizabeth has a wealth of knowledge and expertise in drug development, marketing strategy, and innovative manufacturing solutions. We'll explore her personal journey in the industry, her current role at AustinPx, and the exciting concept of high-touch, high science. We'll also discuss the vital role of sustainability in pharma manufacturing and delve into advanced drug delivery technologies and uncover the industry trends that shaping our future. So, Elizabeth, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on the show and having this chat with you.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. It's great to be on. I appreciate the invite.
So, you had quite an interesting career, and can you share your personal journey that led you to your current position in AustinPx, and maybe even tell us what initially attracted you to this industry?
Yeah, sure. So great question. Thank you. I have spent most of my career in the CDMO industry, and most of that was with oral drug development. I have a true love of this industry. I really appreciate the exposure to the many different drug development programs and being a part of helping clients solve complex drug delivery problems. That's very different from being in a pharma company where you might just be exposed to one program over the life of your career there. So, in the CDMO industry, you get to work with multiple companies and multiple different campaigns. So it's really great to have that exposure. And, the feeling that you get when you help a client overcome a challenge and seeing them get that drug either to the clinic or to the market is just a really great experience and what fuels my passion for being in this industry.
Great.
So do you want me to talk about why I joined Austin Pharmaceutics?
Yeah, so feel free to share that as well. So I think it was an additional pivot in your career, and with your experience, you had multiple choices where to invest your energy and challenges. So why exactly there?
Yeah, so I joined Austin Pharmaceutics really for three key reasons. The first being that I saw a real need in the industry for a more agile and focused early phase development partner. After many, many years of CDMO M&A consolidation of smaller CDMOs, I saw that there was really a gap and a growing need in demand for smaller, agile, early phase CDMOs. And I saw a real solution for that with Austin Pharmaceutics. Second was the people that worked here. They're very intelligent and capable pharmaceutical development professionals. I'd say that because their earlier business model before we changed it to a straight CDMO model of being a specialty pharma company really helped them develop specific skill sets and bring that to the table for our clients that you don't really see in the CDMO industry. The team has a lot of experience and understanding of preclinical and clinical testing, and that's really highly beneficial for our clients when you're trying to deliver highly empathetic and tailored services for our clients. And then the last reason is the technology that the company has in Kinetisol. Kinetisol is really a differentiating technology that has the potential to dramatically disrupt the amorphous dispersion industry and help a lot of pharmaceutical innovators bring new and improved treatments to the market.
So before we dive more into your role there as Chief Business Officer, you are a leader in the industry, and luckily, I think that in the pharmaceutical industry, we do see female leaders who are in such position, and I have felt it throughout my career as well. And I think it's an amazing place that gives a lot of opportunities for this equality. And you had a long career, and it's interesting for me to learn more about your experiences, your pivotal experiences that paved your road to your current position. And maybe you can share with us also some of the challenges that you faced throughout your early career that brought you to the position of a leader where you're at right now.
Yeah, sure. So, I've always been on the sales and marketing side of things during my career in CDMO industry. And I started with a small early phase company out in California called Pharma. And we had a lot of expertise there to help clients really achieve tight timelines and tight budgets. That's really where I learned and developed my love for the CDMO industry, but also the type of skills and service that the industry needs to be successful. We had a very client-centric approach at Pharma, and I've carried that through my career within the CDMO industry, and adding that to how we developed the team here at Austin Pharmaceutics, of really being focused on the needs of the client and bringing what we like to call a high science, high touch service to those clients. After I left Pharma, I had some experience with a couple of other CDMOs, which really expanded my experience in other dosage forms and other formulation technologies, specifically hot melt extrusion and lipid formulation development with soft gels. And then I returned to Pharma for a couple of years, and we brought on spray drying, which was very impactful for the growth of the company, but also adding to my understanding of amorphous dispersion development technologies. So I had been exposed to hot melt extrusion and lipids, and then I added the capability of spray drying. And that led to the acquisition of Pharma by Catalent. And following the Catalent acquisition of Pharma, I stayed on with Catalent, and that's really where I got to develop and expand my skills and expertise within, business operations, really diving into strategy and growth. And while I was there, I was able to participate in the M&A aspects of acquiring other companies and technologies and bringing that in. And that was actually my first exposure to Austin Pharmaceutics and the Kinetisol technology.
So that's quite an impressive journey. And Elizabeth, did you have mentors that you would say help you throughout this career, or how one achieves such advancements or chases such interesting positions? So one could say you can do a lot of work yourself and just pave the road yourself. But I think a lot of the opportunities come by working with the right people, having the right mentors, being there in the right place at the right time. Would you say it was something like this for you? How did it happen for you?
Yeah, timing is everything, right? But and being there when opportunities open up. But I have certainly had the privilege of having some fantastic mentors and advocates for my career throughout my time in the CDMO industry. And just to point out a few of those, one was Tim Scott, who is the current CEO here at Austin Pharmaceutics. He was also the president of Pharma, and he really helped to grow my capabilities and challenge me to expand beyond what I was currently doing and learn new things. But he was a key part of my growth. Another person is Aileen Ruff, who was my supervisor when I was at Catalent. She also really challenged me to do more, and she trusted me, which helped really develop my belief in myself and my expanding and asking for more responsibility and helping me build those skills to get me to where I am today. So, what's that saying that you stand on the shoulders of giants in order to grow and develop?
Yeah, that sounds good. So, as you said, it's important to have the right people believe in you and support in you. So I'm glad to hear that you had this opportunity to have those people around you. And right now, you're the chief business officer at Austin Pharmaceutical. So what does it mean? What are your core responsibilities there, and what impact do they have on the business of the company?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So currently, I'm the chief business officer for Austin Pharmaceutics. I oversee business development, project management, strategy, and human resources for the company. So really business operations for the company. However, I'll be transitioning to the role of CEO in January of next year.
Nice. Okay. Congratulations on that. So do you have any specific visions that you already have in mind that you want to implement once you step in those big shoes?
Yeah, so we've really established a really strong foundation for Austin Pharmaceutics. We've been laying that out over the last 2.5 years to make sure that we're ready for continued growth and sustainable growth as we bring on more projects and more clients. So, my goal is to really make sure that we're continually addressing our ability to grow and support more clients. One of the things that we try to invest in is our people. The CDMO industry, while you have to have the facilities and the equipment and the space to do things, it's really the people that our clients come to work with, right? It's the people who execute those projects. So developing our scientists and our technicians and the different people that interact with our clients is a key part of what we want to do going forward. We felt that really contributes to our high touch, high science method of serving our clients and bring a really client-centric service to what we do.
Right. So Austin Pharmaceuticals is a mid-size CDMO, right? We would say, right? Around 200 employees, something like this.
No, actually, I'd say we are a small company. We have about 50 people here.
So 50 people.
Smaller. Yeah.
So it's smaller. So it's a developing, right. So what is the dynamic in working in such an environment of smaller CDMO, which is probably more innovation focused? And you mentioned that you wanted to bring more agility to the pharmaceutical manufacturing, which we know is something that is not very common because of all the regulations. So usually for most of the companies, especially big ones, agile work is a scary word or even unfamiliar word for them. So so you mentioned that you wanted to come there because you felt you can implement it there. So how do you do it in such a company that manufacture pharmaceuticals according to regulations and strict procedures?
Yeah. So, first off, quality it is the standard. You can't be successful within this industry unless you have quality and can meet the regulatory requirements that are put upon our clients, right? However, there's different things that we can do to make sure that we are able to serve our clients in the early phases when they do need more flexibility and agility within their CDMO partners. At Austin Pharmaceutics, we call this our high science, high touch concept. And this model is about combining cutting edge scientific rigor with personalized client-centric service. We do this to ensure that we can effectively support our clients in an increasingly complex and competitive market, right? It starts with innovation within our science and making sure that we are empowering our scientists to be able to make good decisions for their clients, empowering them with the tools and the resources to do that really good science, and then letting them, help their clients in the best way to solve their challenges. And then as they move into manufacturing, making sure we're putting systems in place that while they meet the regulatory requirements, it allows flexibility in scheduling and moving products through the system. And then having a really good QC and QA team behind that to ensure the quality and get the product out the door. So, that requires a team that really works very closely together, and teamwork is essential to what we're doing and making sure that we break down any kind of boundaries between the groups so that communication as we're developing that product, that there's input from manufacturing about scale up, that there's input from QC about what those methods should look like to enable faster turnaround of projects and planning as we move into manufacturing and release.
So would you say that after you came to the company and started implementing those ideas, so do you see tangible results in the way things are happening in terms of how quickly you finalize projects and maybe even the turnover of the company and how more effective you are to manufacture the batches? Where do you see it exactly, those impacts?
Yeah, so you can certainly see the impacts in the programs that we're managing for clients, right? Being able to meet these very challenging, rapid timelines to help get them to the clinic, as well as overcoming some of the challenges that they see in formulation development. We're definitely seeing that. And one of the ways we know that it's working is not only meeting those milestones that they're asking of us, but also return business, right? And the feedback that we get from our clients. We get a lot of feedback from clients about how agile we are and how high the communication is at the company and how much they trust us. And that repeat business kind of cements that to us, plus the reputation that we're getting within the industry and the referrals really helps us understand where things are working. So the client satisfaction is really where we confirm that what we're doing is helping them.
So basically, this helps you move quickly within the project, do the relevant changes much more efficiently and quicker, so you can bring the product to the market quicker, right?
Right. Yeah. So, there are so many people that are involved in getting a drug developed and then manufactured for the clinic. And those groups have to be very integrated with each other, and that requires a lot of teamwork and communication, right? To assess risk, to come up with opportunities for making timelines shorter or reducing risk, and then making sure that the team has the tools and the resources to get it done, as well as empowering them to make those decisions for the client where they think that they can make improvements.
And do you think this can be also applicable to commercial drug manufacturers, or do you think it's applicable only for the first stages of the development, but once it's already commercialized and it's completely validated, then there is no way to use the same methods? What do you think?
Yeah, so moving to commercial, things have to get far more structured, right? There validation requirements that you have to meet to make sure that you're doing that. So as you move into phase 3 commercial, the ability to be a little more agile does go down. However, we have a belief that if you can build in some of that agility into the product to help accelerate it, once it does get into commercial, that adds a lot of value. Whether it's making sure that the formulation strategy or the manufacturing process that you design into the campaign and the drug product itself is streamlined, and are you picking the simplest form of getting that drug product produced, or are you overcomplicating it with maybe technologies that the drug doesn't necessarily need? So really thinking about the end in the very beginning can help accelerate things as you get into commercial. So, reducing delays because there's, additional steps built in, or potential, errors that could happen in commercial because of the complexity of the process.
So I agree on that. When I was at the CPHI in Milan, it was visible all over that so many companies are concentrating on sustainability. So all over where you look, you see the buzzword somewhere on the flyers, or and what are your thoughts on this? So how does sustainability come together in the pharma manufacturing? Is it important, and what benefits might it hold, in your opinion, in following sustainability best practices?
Yeah, so one way we're driving sustainability improvements is through innovation with amorphous solid dispersion development. And the demand for amorphous solid dispersions is certainly growing, especially as the percent of new small molecules coming into the development pipeline have bioavailability and solubility issues. So we're really looking at ways that we can improve sustainability there. So, amorphous solid dispersions are essential for improving bioavailability of poorly soluble drugs. Traditional approaches include spray drying, hot melt extrusion, and spray drying specifically is the leading amorphous dispersion technology out there. It utilizes organic solvents, which are part of the environmental impact of drug product development. From a commercial standpoint, spray dry products as a whole probably represent around 8,000 metric tons of solvent per year, which has negative effects on the environment. And as molecules become more and more poorly soluble, they're also exhibiting increased challenges with solvent solubility. So as new molecules come into developments for spray drying, we're having to look at even more toxic solvents like THF and DCM to meet the demands of those poorly soluble compounds. So, looking at ways that we can solve the bioavailability challenge, but use different approaches is one way that Austin Pharmaceutics is doing that. And that's with our Kinetisol technology, which is a non-solvent based process, but also brings additional benefits like the operational footprint. And all of these things also lead to cost improvements for the client, right? So from a sustainability standpoint, it's not just the environmental impact, it's the operational impact as well. And that leads to savings for the client down the road, as well as improvements to manufacturability.
Right. So thanks for elaborating on that. And before we spoke, you mentioned high touch, high science concept. So can you elaborate a bit on what does it mean in the context of pharmaceutical manufacturing, and how does it connect to the clients that you serve?
Yeah, so high science, high touch has to do with our client-centric culture and how we serve our clients in the best way. It's really building empathy as well as strong communication skills and how we do that, but also making sure that we're thinking innovatively for our clients and arming our scientists with the tools and technologies to be able to address these challenges and help them get to the next phase of their development. So, we have to empower, to create a Ritz-Carlton type of approach to our services, and giving our team that autonomy to support and go above and beyond for our clients.
Right. So you mentioned being innovative, right? And also, you talked a lot about Kinetisol, right? So I do believe that you also received the innovation prize at the CPHI and the reward for being innovative in this approach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we had the pleasure of accepting the Advanced Innovation Award at the most recent CPHI Worldwide Conference. And prior to that, we also got the Interfex Award for Advanced Innovation as well. And I think that's because they recognize the significant advancement in meeting the demand for alternative sustainable solutions for amorphous dispersions. And, by eliminating the need for solvents while reducing the operational footprint and streamlining the manufacturing processes, a technology like Kinetisol can reduce costs and improve sustainability without compromising performance. And we feel really great that the industry is recognizing that and rewarding us for it.
So what is the main difference between this technology and the traditional methods like spray drying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's three things. One is the performance. Now, there's not a one-size-fits-all technology out there for any drug, but in many cases, we've shown that Kinetisol can work for poorly soluble compounds. So from a performance standpoint, we have seen Kinetisol generate greater performance within bioavailability with anything from 2 to 6 times improved bioavailability and exposure of that molecule compared to other formulation strategies. It also generates a better particle, amorphous dispersion particle, with improved flow and compressibility, which has downstream benefits for reducing challenges that you have when you go into tableting. It's also more sustainable in that it does not use any solvent to generate that amorphous dispersion. And it also has a much smaller footprint than, say, commercial scale spray drying. Our commercial unit can fit into a traditional pilot scale size manufacturing plant. as opposed to a commercial spray dryer can be as large as a 4 or 5 story building with a lot of utilities and ancillary requirements around it, from the solvent handling to the nitrogen requirements and the utilities. So that really contributes to the sustainability. And then the last is scalability. The equipment itself has very high throughput and can really handle from very small to very large demand forecasts for commercial needs. And you can stick with the same piece of equipment as your product grows.
So now that you will be stepping in as the CEO, what current trends in the industry you feel are the most interesting for you to follow, especially if we are talking about new technology, legislation, supply chain? So what do you feel about it?
Yeah, the increased interest in sustainability is certainly something that we're watching and making sure that we're, working with our clients to help them do that. Another thing is the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act and its significant impact that it's having on small molecule development, and making sure that we're positioning ourselves and growing our capabilities and expertise to be able to help our clients that see the impact of the IRA on their small molecule drug development, continuing to be agile and helping them reduce the cost of manufacturing small molecule drugs so that they can overcome some of the challenges of that act.
Excellent. Thank you for this insight, Elizabeth. So is there anything else that you would like to add that we didn't touch?
I'm very excited about the future for Austin Pharmaceutics and where it's going to lead us. We've seen a lot of success thus far in utilization of both our kinetisol capabilities and our non-kinetisol services over the last 18 months. And I'm looking forward to continuing that journey with this amazing team that we have.
Excellent. So I wish you the best of luck and success in your upcoming role. I'm sure it will be a wonderful journey, and I hope that in next year or afterwards we will see each other at the CPHI again when you will be getting another award, hopefully then.
Yeah, thank you. It's too bad we missed each other at the last one. Let's make sure we see each other next year in Frankfurt.
100%. So thank you, Elizabeth, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. This was fun.
Thanks for listening to the Qualitalks podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please leave us a 5-star review. If you want to learn more about GMP, please visit us at www.qualistery.com. Stay compliant and see you at the next one.